The concept of loaning money out and saying that that's a not an actual value in that's subjuring the fact of reality. If you actually have some like commodities to lend to somebody, the fact that you have those commodities to give is a reality. It's not a nothing. It's a, you know, if you just expend everything you have nothing for tomorrow, and that's not very practical if you want to live a good life. And for a priest to tell you that there's no worth to have loans given, that there's not a sign of any virtue or value, that's a priest who's against reality. So they're in this kind of hypocritical mindset, and that's what they are. They're hypocrites. As we look at the way Jesus described the Pharisees, that's what the Catholics of today represent. They don't represent human rational thoughts. You have this Catholic priest saying, oh my God, usury is a sin. There's nothing in the Bible that says it. It's just the medieval Catholic Church saying this to the people, which is enslaving society. Who's loaning the money? The church is loaning money. They're living in opulence. But the people are to be in poverty. And that's what's happening in the United States. The founding fathers of the United States, they recognize the Jesuits, that's the Catholics, as being like scoundrels, dangerous villains. And what were the Jesuit dangerous villains going to do? They were going to put a central bank in the United States. So these very Catholics on YouTube right now are saying, oh my gosh, usury is a sin. These are the sinners. They're the devils. They know that they are the devils. They're a faithless and godless people. If you look at the censorship in politics, the censorship in religion, and the censorship in economics, it's the Catholics doing it. And you look closer at them, they are very happy at enslaving people cruelly. They want innocent people to be violated because that's where their mind is. When you think about guys like Charlie Kirk, and he's lying. He's saying the Taliban is a bunch of pedophiles. The reality is the Taliban was formed to fight pedophiles. And which pedophiles? It's actually the Catholics. The Catholics are funding warlords in the Middle East to arrest the people, take the resources for Rome, for the central bank, for the European Union, for the Federal Reserve. That's what the wars are about. And the pedophile warlords, those are the Western-backed powers, and the Taliban formed to fight them. And what is Charlie Kirk? Does he not know this? He knows it. He's just duping the people. When we have a Hegelian right wing, the Hegelian right wing is not American. They're not Christians. They're devils. And Charlie Kirk is quite understanding what he's doing. He censors people. People like Jordan Peterson, they're quite understanding what they're doing. When they censor people, they're cognizant of it. Jordan Peterson particularly, he'd censor all my dialogues on YouTube. And who is it that's censoring? It's actually Jordan himself. He's actually sitting there in a chair doing it. He actually mentioned the fact that he goes over his comments. Well, then he's the one censoring them. If he's the one going over his comments and he made a mention of it, I guarantee you that he's the one censoring them. And what he discusses is exactly what I mentioned, that he censors. So his new topic of discourse would be a half-truth of what we were talking about, and he's going to omit the reality of it, and he's going to use his half-truths. That's the Hegelian dialectic in action. Is Jordan Peterson a good guy? Well, sometimes he is, but he's actually like Nicodemus. And you see, he went from being an atheist to being a Catholic. Now he's a complete, full-fledged Catholic. And as a full-fledged Catholic, he speaks as like the highest level of divine authority. He knows everything about everything now. And he's really like backing the Machiavellian, sadistic evil of the Catholic Church. And you can see right out of Jordan's mouth, he'll tell you, be a monster, be this, diabolic fiend on the earth and have no quarter. And it's like, wait a minute, what kind of faithful guy is this? What's he talking about? And he's always preoccupied with women. He's always like, how do you get women? How do you get more women? How do you get, and he's a very wealthy guy, and all he's thinking about is young women, how he can be more, in their eye, like appreciated. And That's the whole Catholic Church is this way, with their prayers to Mary and their real godlessness. They're sadistically godless people, and they don't understand fundamental basics of like how society is operating. They're coming from a position of complete ignorance and unsatiable violence. They're really, unsatably violent. And when you look at like your CIA hip-hop culture and what they want for society, where they have this violent dominion, that's, again, the Catholic Church. That is the Jordan Petersons, the, Ben Shapiro's. These are not faithful people. They are inhuman, violent monsters.